Okay, so quick little office tour. Some of the stuff I've collected over the years I've played professional golf, and there's no particular order here or particular. Well, there'll be a couple of favorites. I used to play a lot with Greg Norman back in the late '80s, early '90s when he was #1 in the world. This was a great picture because we were down in Australia. I think we were at Metropolitan, and my caddy Cubby was hitting a long putt. He wanted to hit this 60 or 70 foot putt, and he took my putter out and he took a divot out of the green. So we were just laughing about as hard as you could laugh, and if you knew Cubby, you'd laugh harder. Arnold Palmer wrote me a letter after winning a senior tour event with Jeff Sluman, the Legends Championship in Savannah, and Sluman threw a pie in my face. It's cool to have Arnold write a letter. Arnold Palmer to George Bush. They were friends. This is 41. Wrote me a letter that, and then signed it himself. So pretty cool to have a letter written from a president, the most qualified president ever to be in the office, in my opinion. And then one year I played with Adam Scott and Phil Mickelson at Congressional. It was the Kemper Open or the Booz Allen. I can't remember when it was, but Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice followed us around the last few holes, and I got to meet her, and she invited me to get a tour of her offices, a handwritten letter from Condi Rice. That was really neat. This is Rory McIlroy, of course, at Shinnecock. We were working there for Fox, and we were just chatting, and Eamon Lynch took that picture. That's probably the best picture he's ever taken. Jim McCabe, who used to write for the Globe, wrote a great article. I went over to qualify for the 2005 British Open Championship, which was at St. Andrews. I qualified at London Golf Club down the street, and I had qualified there 2 or 3 times before, made it, played well enough to get in the third to last group with Sergio on that Sunday, and London Links gave me an honorary membership. So that was neat. Back in the early 90s, when Titleist came out with their DCI iron, they had a set for all people. My dad, seniors, women, my uncle, and I was using the set of DCIs. That was kind of cool to get that picture. We were using the advertising. This is one of my favorite pictures here. This is an original from 1942, helicopter, or a plane, actually, all the reconnaissance planes from the war, but this was a picture taken in Pine Valley, my favorite course in the world, where I'm actually a member, but you can see what the terrain there and the sandy pine dunes there in Clementon, New Jersey. Great picture, unbelievable, and how much land they have. This is a funny shot. I was playing the Greensboro and missed the fairway as usual on the 9th hole, the dogleg left par 5, and I took a back swing. I hit this tree. I was hitting a 4-iron to lay up with my second shot, and the club bent. I ended up making birdie on the hole, bent my 4-iron, and that set was in Sports Illustrated. That's the first tee at Pine Valley. It's blown up, and my friend Tommy Gilbane sent me that picture. Awesome. Scares the heck out of you when you're playing that hole. Maybe the coolest letter from another golfer was from Byron Nelson. I had finished second at the Tour Championship at Southern Hills in 1996. Brent Musburger interviewed me after my round. Tom Lehman destroyed the field. But Byron Nelson's letter said, "I love it. You certainly played some fine golf in Tulsa. Enjoyed watching you and the nice things you had to say. You are a fine man." Who can write better than that? I love that. Billy Andre and I did a lot of fundraising, charity stuff up in Rhode Island, and our organization, Andre Faxon Charities for Children, won a bunch of awards, and one of them was the Bing Crosby Tournament Sponsor Award, which we won in 2004. That meant a lot to me to get that. Here's a letter from Bob Hope. I don't know if Bob actually wrote it, but he signed it. That was after winning the tournament in New Orleans in 1997, the Freeport McMoran. There's Cubby, my caddy, longtime caddy, 14 years on the tour with me. He's the one that made Greg Norman laugh, and I think he just retired a few weeks ago at Hilton Head. There's a great picture. I played with Gary Player in the CBS Charity Classic, and like always, we talked golf swing the whole way around. Arnold Palmer bid farewell. You can see the headline there. In 1995 was his last British Open And I was actually, look, tied for the lead after 36 holes. And that's when John Daly beat Constantino Rocca in the playoff with the great duff chip and unbelievable putt for birdie Rocca made on 18. A little article in the Providence Journal about my wife, Dory. That was kind of cool. I've got so many fun things. Pictures of the Ryder Cup team signed by the players that I was on in 97 in Spain and 95 at Oak Hill. Another signed letter from President George Bush. This one from 43. I wore a W hat when I was playing in the tournament there. He signed that handwritten letter with a Sharpie. This was a cool article that was in Golf Digest. They had me come to New York City and putt into a manhole cover because I was putting pretty well, and that's how big the hole looked to me. That was always fun. After winning the 2005 Travelers Championship, which was the Buick Open back then, I got to throw out the first pitch at Fenway. There was my fastball. Didn't go very fast, but it got over the plate. I was proud of that. So just a few of the things that I have here in the office. I think one of the other cool things that I like the most is the putter that Scotty Cameron made that was inspired by the putter I used. They made a limited edition with my name on it, had that framed, and I can't tell you how much that means from Scotty to get that. Remarkable. He didn't do that to many other players that played. Two of my favorite trophies. Sony Open that I won in 2001. I got to play the last two rounds with Ernie Els and Tom Lehman. Probably the best golf I've ever played, but one of the coolest looking trophies in the world. Maybe the trophy I'm the most proud of, the Payne Stewart Award, given in 2005 after I had qualified for that British Open in 2005 when Jim McCabe wrote that letter or that article. So those are cool other things. There's a few. That was the 2005 Buick Open trophy. That was a hood ornament from, I believe, a 57 or 58 Buick. And then this one too is another one of the awards I won with Billy Andrade. This is from the Charles Bartlett Award, given to us at the Masters in 1998 by the Golf Writers Association. So just a few of the things that I've won. This is a cool trophy that meant a lot to me. I played with Tom Ryan, who was the CEO of CVS Pharmacy. We won the Pro-Am portion at Pebble Beach, one of the most, coveted amateur titles you could ever have. And just a host of a few other ones. This is the Haskins Award for College Player of the Year way back in 1983. That was the golfer's equivalent of the Heisman. There's my closed club face. Get that back up there a little bit. My favorite trophy, looking trophy, the Stonehaven Cup from the Australian Open. And if you looked at the signatures on this, it's kind of a mini Stanley Cup. And you'll find Gene Sarazen, you'll find Arnold Palmer, you'll find Gary Player, you'll find Jack Nicklaus, you'll find Greg Norman, you'll find Peter Thompson, you'll find some of the greatest players that have ever played the game. Two Ryder Cup trophies up here from playing in the Ryder Cup. Castle Pines, the International in 1992. That was the tournament in New Orleans, the Freeport McMoran Classic. Really cool trophy there. And this was a gift given to us at the Ryder Cup. I believe this was 1997. This was the same crystal that General Norman Schwarzkopf received after the Gulf War. And that was a pretty cool thing to get leaded crystal. So just a little tour here in the office. And I think this would be a good thing to finish with. And all the years I played on tour, this were our tour badges, a bunch of the World Golf Championships, a bunch of the USGA events, the PGA Championships, Masters. These are all British Opens, senior British Opens. And a lot of these little medals are from winning tour events or some awards from the tour. Had some great help putting this together and lost a lot of things I wish I could find, but a lot of people come and look at that.